This is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Monday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 201. Episode 210. We're actually at episode 210. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. We're back. Got to thank all you fans for listening to the podcast in your automobile, wherever we get our podcasts, from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Prime, Audible, iHeart app. Thank you. Jesse Hemingway says LGD, best Devils podcast, saying in the YouTube Live. Yes, there are a lot of Devils podcasts out there. A lot of them pretty good. But no podcast ever gets the amount of comments that our podcast gets, because we are the most commented Devils podcast in the history of New Jersey Devils podcasts. Moving on. We got lots to talk about. Today was kind of an interesting day, strange day of news. Just little nuggets here and there trickling in, grabbing your attention. For somebody like Beer Baron that has ADD, he goes crazy on days like today. 1 minute, he's talking about Samsonov from the Capitals not being qualified, to Miles Wood, Devils electing to go to arbitration. Then we talk about stuff around the NHL that doesn't make sense. And little Fireboy 87 says Saturday Devils fam megaspace. Beer Baron's handling that. I'm not too much involved, other than I gave Beer Baron the okay to do what he needs to do to unite the Devils fan base together. So congratulations to the Saturday's Devils fam megaspace. Be part of it. I have no idea what that is, other than I know Beer Baron and Nick Villano of pucksandpitchforks.com is part of it. But I think it's about uniting the Devils fan base, as we should, because the Devils are in good position, and that's today's title. Devils are in good position. And why do I say this? Am I an optimist? Am I unrealistic? Do I think the Devils are going to win the cup? Do I think that the Devils could do no wrong? You know, on this podcast, on the Let's Go Devils podcast, especially on the Woo Report, I've been very critical of the New Jersey Devils. I give it to you straight. I tell you how I feel. Remember the NFZ? And we were going over basic penalty killing? I will tell you what's on my mind, and I will truthfully tell you that the Devils are in good position right now. Matter of fact, in very good position, because whatever happens this season, whether they get Johnny Gaudreau, they do not get Johnny Gaudreau, Mac Black stinks it up, the new goalie, Vitek Vanacek, stinks it up, the Devils give up more shorthanded goals than last year. Sounds like a disaster, does it? No. If the Devils happen to not do too well this season, the 2023 draft is loaded, absolutely loaded with with talent. You're talking about 2003 type draft where you can't go wrong whoever you draft in the first round. And I think the Devils are in great position. They've got cap space. That's what you want, right? You've got cap space. You've got a budding Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. Of course we want to win now. I want to win now. But you still need a safety net. Well, what happens if you don't win now, which next season? The Devils are in good position. Devils are in great position, especially after this draft, where they drafted towards needs versus best available. Now, you can debate philosophy, what way to go, but in this juncture of the New Jersey Devils on the 10-year rebuild that's taking forever, you're drafting with need. Rob Klabosis actually agrees with me. Win now never works. I agree. Well, I agree with you. But you must have, although I will say, though, you must have that win now mindset, because you're not going to get to where you need to be unless you start focusing on winning. And sometimes, the Devils marketing, their PR, they have a lot of mixed messages. I shouldn't say mixed messages. I think that's the wrong term. A very confusing message. Sometimes, I think oftentimes that the Devils organization sometimes gets off track quite a bit. Not focusing on winning, but more focusing on shenanigans that most fans don't really care about. And there needs to be a laser focus on winning. I think that's how a winning culture within the organization starts. It's laser focus. Not getting distracted with releasing the third jersey and all the PR marketing campaign. Do you know who your customers are, New Jersey Devils? I mean, whether you like the jersey or not, it was a distraction from winning. And I go back to this from last year. The Devils were 8-5-3 and had defeated on the road with a comeback victory over the two-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champions and three-time Stanley Cup champions, Tampa Bay Lightning. We were on such a high. And then this. The team just sucked. But that's okay. That's okay. Craig Best talks about Zacha, clean out Zacha, Smith, yada, yada, yada. Weaponize the cap. I'll tell you what, I think Zacha's on the way out. But luckily for New Jersey Devils fans, there are interest. I think what Zacha needs, and I hate to use this term, cliche, change of scenery. Rob Klabosis going with a more simple approach, thinking that our goalie situation is everything, in my opinion. We don't have any problems with goals, but our goalies are atrocious. Rob, I half agree with you there, but the other half is you can't expect our goalies to try to make big-time saves when the Devils are on the power play, and how many shorthanded chances goes the other way. To tell you the truth, I would expect the goalie to save half of them, but you can't expect the goalie every single time to be making these saves, because these are undisciplined plays. It's one thing if you give up a shorthanded chance every once in a while, but for the New Jersey Devils, it was happening about 5 to 6 times a game. And that's unacceptable at the NHL level. Yes, goaltending, I think more than anything, if you want to talk about consistent goaltending, I think we need to start with the word durability. The only durable goaltender last season was Nico Dawes, thrown in the fire. He was robbed of his development time in Utica, where he had I would say, a great year, even with Akira Schmid. Jesse Hemingway writes on the YouTube Live, maybe power play will improve without Recchi. He seemed to try the same things over and over without any results. I think we shouldn't really point fingers at Recchi so much. I think really they needed a new voice, especially with Nasruddin. I think they're good coaches. But Lindy Ruff will have a chance and have a hand in who will be his assistant. And that's a good question. And that's another kind of interesting thing that's just weird. You know, we talked about Samsonov and the Capitals not qualifying him. We talk about other strange things that's happened. I believe the Devils' 4th round pick decides to sign a 4-year contract with in the KHL. I think it's Orlov. I think that's his last name. But not as bad as what happened with the New York Islanders and their 13th overall. Make a trade and you may not be able to sign the guy. What a waste. Talk about a gamble. Maybe Lou Lamoriello's lost his mind. I don't know. I don't want to go there. I'm a big Lou fan. I don't want to go there. Chris Margotti says, I think more Devils fans need to be cautiously optimistic about getting Johnny Gaudreau. I'll tell you what. If the Devils get Johnny Gaudreau, again, this is where the Devils are in good position. I'd be happy. We love breaking news podcasts here at the Let's Go to Devils podcast. We love breaking the news to you. If Johnny Gaudreau comes, it's good for our numbers. Everybody's happy. But if the Devils don't get Johnny Gaudreau, I think the Devils are in good position without him. He's going to cost you about $10 million a year starting. There could be a bidding war. It could be 10 years, 7 years. 10 million, 7 years. 10 million per. That's a lot of dollars. Would you want to tie up that nice cap space for Johnny Gaudreau? I'm not so sure about that. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie. If Johnny Gaudreau is in New Jersey, they're going to be playing that Chuck Berry song over and over and over and over again at the arena. Nick Gallo says, Johnny Hockey easily brings this team to meaningful games. Remember that saying last year? Meaningful games. Last season, I was just hoping that the players can actually survive physically an 82-game season after what has happened about Bratt. I'm not paranoid because he's restricted. What I'd be paranoid about, and I'll tell you, what I'd be paranoid about is, well, nothing. Because the Devils are in good position. I tricked you there, huh? I tricked you there. Let's see here. I know a little Fireboy wants to get Gaudreau. I think it would create a tremendous amount of excitement. But I caution you, though. I caution you. he's going to cost a lot of money. Someone like Matthew Tkachuk, now that's what I'm talking about. That's what the Devils need. But it's going to cost the Devils dearly to make a trade. Offer sheet, I only suggested it. But really, Calgary will match that any day. So there's no point in doing that offer sheet, especially if Gaudreau leaves. But as what Gaudreau and the rumors that they've been talking about, it's not about the money, apparently. That's what the rumors are with Johnny Gaudreau and the Calgary Flames. Also, a note, development camp is underway. Devils put a nice feature on Jesper Bratt's younger brother as he attends his first camp. Very nicely done by yours truly, Amanda Stein, with a couple of her tweets that Nico Dawes, she wrote, just caught up with hashtag NJ Devils Nico Dawes, who joked with me that he's played his first 20-plus NHL games before being at development camp. This is his first development camp. That tells you everything you need to know about what happened last season. That should tell you that it was bad at the goaltending position. That you got to rely on Nico Dawes and Akira Schmid when they should be developing. And not for 1 or 2 games in an emergency situation. 20-plus games, and I think Nico Dawes did hold his own. Oh, well, it's being suggested, I don't know, is Jamancito Gomez. This is probably an idea, but would you bring in Samsonov and have a 3-way battle at camp, meaning Samsonov, Blackwood, and Vanacek? Can't never get too many goalies. Well, at this rate, yeah, because they keep on getting hurt. First it was Corey Crawford, but not so much getting hurt, but couldn't do it anymore. Had to quit. Jonathan Bernier lasted, 6, 8 games at most before he had a hip surgery in last January. He's going to take a while. More interesting Devils stuff. Of course, Alexander Holtz is saying, oh, Brad wants to be here. Well, what else is he supposed to say? Pucksandpitchforks.com. Nick Villano. He has an article out, 5 under the radar free agents. I suggest you read that on pucksandpitchforks.com. I'll show the video feed of the website. Great website. I write things there. New Jersey Devils, a lot of talent was added. Go read it. Pucksandpitchforks.com. Well, we will give you the best coverage in the next few days as we're on breaking news standby. Brendan writes, hey Sam, love from here over here after relocating to Seattle. You guys do a great job. You're my daily podcast. Keep up the great work. Brendan, let me talk to you. I actually got in I had to stop myself from getting into a Twitter war with a fellow fan because we're trying to unite the fan base. But I put out a tweet out there on my Twitter account at PrimetimeSamWoo, and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm not going to read it verbatim, but the Seattle Kraken's a new team, and they've got a secret weapon like some other teams have, and they reside in a state that has no state income tax. And if it were between New Jersey and Seattle battling to get Johnny Gaudreau, for example, making up a scenario, and money was an issue, a contract like Johnny Gaudreau, say if it's $10 million for 7 years, that's $70 million. That's 6.5% of it, which equates to about, I think, 4.65 million would be saved immediately for the life of the contract. Immediately. There's a competitive advantage there. On top of that, in Seattle, Washington State, there is no corporate income tax. A lot of these players have marketing companies. A lot of these players have business ventures. 13.5% in New Jersey if you make a lot of money. It kind of ranges like 6 to 13.5 or something like that. And Brendan, I want to ask you, since you live in Seattle, how are the taxes out there? Is it much better in Washington? Because there was this guy on Twitter was trying to tell me I'm a dope, that I was just basing it on state income tax. They'll get you elsewhere. No. New Jersey is the highest in everything. At one point, New Jersey, it was pretty cool to live in Jersey because the gas prices were quite low, but they decided to overtax us again. So, yeah. But cost of living is high, sir. It's very high to live here, so it balances out, Sam. Okay, well, keep that between us because I'm still in the Twitter war. But when you look at the numbers, though, I mean, you losing about $5 million if you live one place and it's just amazing. Who knows? But I think, I didn't want to talk economics today, but it's good to get other opinions. And Brendan says, yes, it's kind of a win-win. I still love Adam Larson from 2012. Yeah, you know what? Adam Larson, he is the gift that still keeps on giving. How we got Adam Larson was really because Johnny McLean was put in the coaching position. Devils did horribly, and we're in the draft lottery for the first time in a long time. And as they're in the draft lottery, they had the 4th overall pick. They moved up, and there he was, Adam Larson. But eventually, Adam Larson got traded for Taylor Hall. He gave us an MVP-type season, fool's gold. But eventually, Taylor Hall was flipped, and we've got a whole boatload of talent on this team. And one of them that came out of it, do you know who? Was it Mr. Dawson Mercer? Absolutely it was, with that pick. Also, Jonas Siegenthaler was one of those players. I think there was Nate Shar who gave the AHL's Utica Comets a boost. There's also I think Christian Yaros was there, but he was long gone. It's always fun to follow the lineage and tree. Brendan, if you or Beer Baron ever come to Seattle, I would visit your guys' podcast. Hey, that's a deal. We'll have to figure it out. I actually have family in Seattle for years. I have family in Seattle. The Bellevue area, Mercer Island, those areas. 2025 to the playoffs, Sam. 2027 Stanley Cup appearance. I love the spirit. I love positive fans. I'd like to hear your comments, questions. Also, this Woo Report is going to be dropped at midnight for your morning or afternoon commute, as we are doing this daily. Not monthly, but daily. Nick Gallo says, Sam, are you really okay with this being it and drafting high again? Well, for all you Lindy Ruff haters, if the Devils suck this year, you know he's going to get canned at this point. For all you haters. Now, I'm not a Lindy Ruff hater. I support him. But if the Devils do badly, guess what? You've got a draft. Look, if you've got 3 first-round draft picks like the Devils did in 2020, that should be it with this, like, drafting. Tom Fitzgerald will have so many asses he won't even know what to do with. You can't screw it up at that point because this is going to be a very talented team. It's how you get them to win. That's the key question. Looking through all these comments here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Also, thank you for all the follows on Twitter. We're seeing our numbers rise. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Channel is Let's Go Devils. Like our Facebook page, at Let's Go Devils Podcast. And on Twitter, at Let's Go Devils Pod. Want to thank all those tuning in tonight. Scotty and I are on standby. Just remember Nick Villano at pucksandpitchforks.com, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on July 13th, Wednesday night, as per usual, State of the Fan address. And that's going to be a very interesting podcast. Noontime, unrestricted free agency. Who will the Devils sign? Will they stand pat? Or will Fitzgerald pull something out of a hat like he did with Dougie Hamilton? You simply don't know. But we'll keep you covered. No worries. Thank you very much. Hitting the music. Enjoy it, Devils fans, as we count down to the free agent frenzy. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Brendan. I want Palat over Johnny Hockey. That just makes sense to me. Palat can play on the third line. He can play on the second line. He can play on the first line. But he's a stopper. He's a gamer. I like him. Dropping the podcast at midnight. Follow us on our social media pages. Thank you for bringing us into your automobile on your way to work, on your way to home. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.